Hello and welcome to another video. I hope that you're all very well. Today I'd like to talk about spiral roundabouts, what they are and how to deal with them. However, before I get started, I just want to say a big thank you to all our subscribers, because without you guys, this video today would not be possible. If you are not a subscriber and you're watching this channel for the first time, please hit that subscribe button now so that you do not miss out on our future videos. So let's get started and talk about spiral roundabouts. Many learner drivers, they worry as soon as they hear the word roundabout, let alone spiral roundabouts. The good news is that provided you select the correct lane, spiral roundabouts are easier, far easier than normal roundabouts of the equivalent size. Now, let me tell you why. On a normal roundabout, let's assume you're turning right. You'd get into the right-hand lane, enter the roundabout in the right-hand lane, and then you need to stay. You need to hug the roundabout until it's time to leave. When it's time to leave, you check the mirrors, you're ready to indicate, and you notice there's somebody there on your left. So this causes a lot of issues for learner drivers, and it's the main reason why learner drivers tend to fail their driving test on mirror change direction, because they try to change direction, they try to leave the roundabout because they're too scared that they're going to miss their exit, forcing the traffic on their left to slow down. You don't get this in spiral roundabouts. On a spiral roundabout, once you're in the correct lane, the lane basically will spiral into your exit. So that simplifies the whole thing. Just on a side note there, though, if you're on a normal roundabout in the right-hand lane and your exit is approaching and you want to leave and you do see somebody there, then you've got two choices. One, you can just ease off the accelerator, maybe touch the brakes slightly and let the driver go, and then just follow them behind and leave the roundabout. Alternatively, you can simply choose to go all the way around the roundabout and do it again, which is perfectly acceptable for the driving test. At this spiral roundabout, we want to turn right. We can see that the far right-hand lane is marked for turning right, so that is the lane that we will get into. The first lane on the left is marked left turn only and will take us to the first exit. The middle lane will spiral into the second exit. And the third lane, the lane that we are in, will spiral into the third exit. If for some reason we wanted to take the fourth exit, we would need to change lanes, as the lane on our right will spiral into the fourth exit. Once we have passed the second exit, we must remember to indicate our intention to leave the roundabout for the benefit of other road users. That was relatively quite a simple roundabout, just to demonstrate how they work. We are going to take a look at two more roundabouts. One, a large roundabout, and two, an enormous gyratory roundabout. So let's go for a drive. At this roundabout, we'll be taking the third exit towards Heathrow. As it is past the 12 o'clock position, we will treat it as a right turn and therefore approach in the right-hand lane. We notice the lane is splitting into two sections. If we have a choice of two lanes, generally speaking, we should always take the left-hand lane. We now simply remain in our lane and it should spiral towards our exit. Here, the road markings confirm that we are in the correct lane, going towards the A312. However, we also notice that the lane on our right is also heading towards the A312. By simply remaining in our lane, we should spiral towards our exit. However, as the lane on our right is also going towards the same exit, we need to be aware of possible traffic that may be merging into our lane. Now we will approach the same roundabout again, but this time we will take the fourth exit heading towards Yedding. We will approach in the right-hand lane as before, due to the fact that the exit is past the 12 o'clock position. The road markings confirm that we are in the correct lane. We notice that the lane is splitting into two sections, and once again, same as before, we should take the left-hand section. We will be leaving the roundabout at the next exit. However, we notice that the lane on our left is also heading towards the same exit. Due to this reason, it is vital that we check our left mirror as we exit. We are approaching the same roundabout again. This time we will do a complete U-turn and come back on ourselves, therefore taking the fifth exit. We notice that the exit is after Harrow Northolt A312. We will treat this as a right turn and approach in the right-hand lane. The road markings indicate that the lane we are in is heading towards the A312 and the A40. However, we want the exit after this and must be prepared to change one lane towards the right. We notice that our lane is widening. we would normally take the left-hand section. However, we know that the left lane is heading towards the A312 and the A40. Therefore, we need to keep towards our right. We are now in the correct lane, heading towards Greenford. The lane will now spiral towards our exit. We are now passing the Northolt Harrow exit. This is confirmation that our exit is next. As our lane is going to spiral towards the left, we must be aware that the left-hand lane will also spiral in that direction. If it is possible to change to the left-hand lane, this is always advisable. However, in this case, we will remain in our position, but we need to be aware of our left. Next, let's move on to another roundabout, the Gyratory. At this roundabout, we are planning to take the A4005 towards Alperton. This is the exit after Greenford, Perivale. The road markings confirm that we are in the correct lane for the A4005. When our lane splits up, we would normally take the left section. However, in this case, the road markings indicate that we must take the right-hand lane for the A4005. Now that we are in the correct lane, it will just spiral towards our exit. Although we are in the correct lane, we can see that the left-hand lane also goes towards the A4005. As this lane is empty, it will be advisable to change to the left-hand lane. Now that we are in the left-hand lane, we need to be aware of the possible traffic emerging from the right-hand lane. So we've had a look at 3 different roundabouts today, and on approach them, there is no way of telling that it's a spiral roundabout. The reason for that is that spiral roundabouts don't officially exist. Spiral roundabouts are basically just a normal roundabout that has been designed to make life easier for you, to enable you to get to your exit with ease, with less stress. So that's the spiral roundabouts for you. I hope you found this video informative. If you have, then please share it with at least one person, because by sharing this video you will help the channel to grow. Thank you for your time. Take care. Bye bye.